The city is continuing to fog for mosquitoes as trap counts remain high. Crews are out for a second night in a row, turning their attention to neighborhoods in the northwest part of Winnipeg, including Inkster, Garden City and Seven Oaks, as well as sections of Charleswood and St. James. Winnipeg's average trap count yesterday morning was 37. City entomologist Taz Stewart says the large mosquito population we're seeing is a result of heavy rains that hit the city, especially areas in the southwest 2 weeks ago.
That's where most of the nuisance activity came from. We treated where we could, but lots of those are properties we have no access to people's backyards in Charleswood, so that's where you really want the public to help you, and you're sort of seeing the result of not being able to get to everywhere.
Fogging happens from 9:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., but trucks won't go out if the temperature drops between 13 degrees or if it's too windy. More than 600 Winnipeggers have signed up to have 90-meter buffer zones around their property. One man has died following a crash in southeast Manitoba. RCMP say a car was traveling west on the Trans-Canada yesterday when it rolled over at least once near Prada. One man was killed, 2 others were taken to hospital with serious injuries. The investigation continues. A former Manitoba Deputy Minister of Education has been charged with child pornography offences. 61-year-old Benjamin Levin, who is from Toronto, is facing 5 charges, including 2 counts of distributing child pornography and 1 count of making child pornography. Levin is a professor at the University of Toronto.
We've gathered the evidence that we need. Having said that, I'm quite sure that there's some more evidence that we'll be looking at over the next few days to weeks in order to determine a full picture.
Levin served as Manitoba's Deputy Minister of Advanced Education and Deputy Minister of Education, Training and Youth from 1999 to 2002. He also served as the Deputy Minister of Education in Ontario from 2002 to 2009 and advised Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne's transition team. The death toll in this weekend's Quebec train derailment has risen to 13. Officials found 8 more bodies in the wreckage of the derailment in Lac-Mégantic. The first bodies were found on the weekend, and the coroner's office says they're being examined in Montreal to determine their identity. The coroner's office is also asking relatives of missing people to provide DNA to help identify the victims. Federal investigators are now trying to determine whether the engine brakes were set when it was left unattended in the hours leading up to the disaster. Dozens of people remain unaccounted for. The 3 women held captive in a Cleveland home for a decade have broken their silence to thank the public for their support.
First and foremost, I want everyone to know how happy I am to be home with my family and my friends. It's been unbelievable.
Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight posted this 3.5-minute YouTube video late last night, saying they have been able to restart their lives thanks to the encouragement of family, friends, and the public. Ariel Castrol has pleaded not guilty to 329 charges, including kidnapping and sexual assault. For the 14th year in a row, Manitoba has been named the Slurpee capital of the world by 7-Eleven convenience stores. Manitoba won by having the highest average number of Slurpee cups sold per store in a region, although Calgary and Detroit were close behind. This Thursday is Free Slurpee Day, as 7-Eleven will give away 1,500 Slurpees at each one of its stores across Manitoba. And that's the first look at what's making news at 6 o'clock. More local news at 6:30. Now we'll check back in with Sean.